Nature's majesty blurring through the periphery as you skillfully link endless kinks laid in abandoned tarmac. That's the fantasy when you buy a car like the McLaren 570S Spider.
But it's just not realistic. We've got jobs and places to go, leaf blowers to use.
Raising an important question, is the McLaren 570S Spider fun to drive, even when it's trapped in suburbia? The internet loves a list. So here's 9 fun things to do with your McLaren in suburbia. Behind the seats is a 3.8-liter twin-turbocharged V8. Exploit launch control and you can hit 60 miles an hour from a standstill in a dazzling 3.1 seconds. Which means after about 3 seconds in most towns, you're breaking the law. But keep going, and with the top up, the Spider reaches 204 miles an hour, which is exactly the same as the coupe.
I am not sure if it's exciting or frustrating that your car can do 200 miles an hour, but never will. Mull that over while you meander over to the nearest outlet mall.
Up front, there's a decently roomy frunk, supplemented by modest storage space in the center console. That, plus a manageable turning circle, a vivid backup display in the gauge cluster, and a lifting suspension to minimize scrapes, and the 570 Spider is strangely suitable for light errand running.
And when you do make that Costco run, the 570S's suspension is more compliant than its beefier 720S sibling, so you probably aren't going to break a whole lot of eggs. I just would leave it off track mode though. There's no eggs in it now.
Granted, the 570 GT is a much more practical choice thanks to an expanded storage area accessed through a flip-up rear window.
But the GT is also burdened with a fixed roof, making it harder for strangers to gawk at its occupants. Goccupants.
The Spider's spiderness comes from a retractable hardtop that operates in a brief 15 seconds. It speeds up to 25 miles an hour, while only adding 101 pounds to the curb weight versus the coupe. The convertible's revised body shape also necessitated a half-inch higher rear spoiler, while the airflow inside the cabin is managed by an electric wind deflector. I just wonder what this is going to do to my hair. It probably looks better than usual.
Not now, it doesn't.
Besides wind, the topless McLaren is filled with sound.
Honestly, is there anything grander than a V8 love song ringing off Starbucks signs and neighborhood retaining walls? No.
And in case that sounds cynical, we'll point out that even in the most pedestrian environments, there's beauty above. You just gotta look for it.
As noted in our coupe review, the 570's electromechanical steering communicates more effectively than most modern cars. And most modern humans. But not you, Lynn.
No, I speak good.
Like a good therapist, the steering wheel facilitates efficient, substantive dialogue between the driver and the front tires. That dialogue is amplified by the steering system's precision and hyper-quick ratio. Every movement matters. Thoughts become actions without needless friction.
Miraculously, that human-machine interface doesn't require triple digits to trigger emotions. For example,
of course, you could ignore all that touchy-feely driver interaction stuff and just bask in the alpha human posturing that's possible in a car that costs more than $200 grand. Actually, quick point of clarification, the 570S Spider isn't simply expensive. It actually looks expensive. Case in point, if I told you that this test car that we were driving rang in at $235,580 with all the options, would that surprise you?
In the grand history of supercars, weird doors are a proud tradition. Scissor, gullwing, or in McLaren's case, Dihedral. Extending up and forward, the doors don't impede ingress and egress too badly, while clarifying for even the most oblivious observer that you're merely passing through Common Town, en route to somewhere elite.
To be fair, the 570S's visual gravitas extends well beyond its doors. Take a minute to drink it in.
This drool-worthy all-carbon fiber body weighs 165 pounds. That's about Micah, give or take a burrito. What do you think he'd look like painted Ventura orange?
I suppose it was inevitable, but we have to defy this video's suburbia premise. It feels like cheating, but seriously, there is nothing better to do with the McLaren than escape.
Forward, back, left, and right, the accelerative sensations are breathtaking. We already hit on the engine's vision-warping power, but it's worth mentioning the 570S's brilliant 7-speed dual-clutch transmission, which delivers virtually undetectable gear changes during relaxed cruising.
As the drive becomes more serious, so does the dual clutch. Manual shifts occur with minimal delay. Down, down, down. Up, up, up. Oh, that's good.
Fusing car to road are Pirelli P0 Corsa tires wrapped around 19-inch wheels up front and 20s in back. 3-mode adaptive dampers vary the suspension's firmness as required, while McLaren's brake steer feature slows the inside rear wheel for enhanced agility when cornering. The Sport Series is more focused on feedback than brute power, such as the 720S. You feel small tugs in the steering and nuances in the road, much more so than you do in the bigger powered McLaren. God, driving this is such a visceral experience. Slowing around corners requires a little bit more brake pedal than you would think, but the virtually fade-free carbon ceramic brakes offer really great feel and excellent stopping power.
Oh, yeah.
They're good.
That was good.
We'll also point out that stability control has a dynamic mode that, according to McLaren, increases driftability. Wield that knowledge responsibly. Most importantly, the Spider's driving experience is not diluted by them hacking off the roof. It's a testament to that rigid carbon fiber chassis that the coupe's sharp handling carries over unadulterated. If you're driving a 570S, something's gone right. Regardless of backdrop, you're in a privileged position, piloting a car that's exclusive, engaging, and, in the right context, exceptionally fast.
The humans are restless and quickly unsatisfied. The 570S is cool, but wouldn't a McLaren 650S or 675 LT make you even happier?
Maybe, for a bit. But then the novelty wears off and we're back chasing the next fantasy.
It's funny, but there is a life lesson here. You have to seize happiness now. If you can't find joy driving a McLaren through boring suburbia, it's probably not hiding over the next horizon.